Kung tama ba nagkaroon sila ng sexual relation, kanino, anong kasarian, at paano i-express ito. And then it goes into the dimension of human rights by looking at this from the point of view of as a demandable right. Ibig sabihin, karapatan ng bata ang magkaroon ng sex. Karapatan ng bata ang magdesisyon kailan, with whom, and how to have sex. So nagiging rights-based approach. Sinasabi nila, dahil taong bata, edi may right siya. So, basta tama yung consent niya with information, karapatan niya. So, taliwas ito sa concept natin ng parental authority, which is that the natural and primary right of the parent to form the moral foundations of the child is constitutionally guaranteed. Kasi, bago pa mangyari ang estado, kung ang estado nagsasabi kung anong mga batas, andyan na ang magulang. Ibig sabihin, ang bata ay binigay sa magulang ng Diyos upang alagaan. Ang mga anak natin ay hindi binigay sa estado para hulmahin. Yun ang major difference. Values and attitudes and emotional aspects, pasok pa rin yan sa sexuality education. So, nakikita nyo na ang difference? Malinaw, no? Kami, naniniwala sa sex education. Batas na yan, in-enshrine na yan sa Imbong versus Ochoa. Pakikita ko po na lumampas. Itong proposed CSE, lumampas at pumasok sa areas ng sexuality education na hindi authorized ng batas. At pakikita ko po that when I use the term CSE, and when SB 1979 uses the term CSE, it can only refer to the technical term called comprehensive sexuality education. Wala nang iba. Kasi yun ho ang ginawa na nilang brand. At ito ho ang naging brand na naka-contain sa dalawang documents. Ito po yung... okay po. Pinasok muna pala ito. Sorry ho, nag-overlap yung words. Pero itong CSE, unlike all previous laws, ginawang mandatory. Mandatory. Yung dating RH law, yung sa Section 14, kailangan lagi ang parental consent. Sa Section 6 ng SB 1979, itong CSE na ito gagawing compulsory at i-integrate sa lahat ng levels. And ang goal ay normalize ang sexual discussions. In other words, parang day-to-day discussions ng mga adolescents, ang sex. And tingnan nyo, and to remove stigma, to promote a sex-positive approach. In other words, sexual activity is good from all levels of stigma. Tingnan nyo po, no? The comprehensive sexuality education, nakalagay po doon, no? Shall be a compulsory part of education. Ay, andyan na yan. Pwede ba yung next slide, please? Ay, ito. Tingnan nyo po, no? ATS, Grace Christian College. Ito po ang goal ng SB 1979. Hindi yan dependent sa desisyon ng Grace Christian College. At hindi po sex education ang ituturo. It is CSE, Exploration of Identity, Gender-Based, and Rights-Based. So kahit anong tutol ni Dr. Tan, i-integrate po yan at uniform. At walang say ang administrators at parents ng teachers ng Grace Christian College, kundi kailangang ituro yan sa basic education, meaning K to 18. And to ensure na susunod ang Grace Christian College, the provision and delivery of CSE shall be listed as a criteria for accreditation. At kung hindi kayo mag-i-implement ng CSE, tatanggalin ang accreditation nyo. So your faith does not matter. That's Section 6 of SB 1979. At titingnan nyo po, no? Itong CSE nga, technical term. Kaya pag sinabing CSE, International Standard, CST, Standards and Concepts, which is now in the substitute bill to SB 1979, it means the whole no other thing except these two documents. The UNESCO International Technical Guidance and the WHO Sexuality Education Guidance. Wala nang iba. Kasi yan po ang nag-embody ng whole world of CSE. Brand nga yan eh. You go and look at CSE, laging ito ang reference. So, ang lahat ng legislators, pag nagsabi sa siyang according to CSE standards, ito po yun. At gaya nyo, pag kayo sinabi nyo according to the prophets, naiintindihan nyo yung pinag-uusapan. Di po ba? Kailangan nyo po ba bang ulitin lahat ng sinabi ng prophets? Hindi na. Parang according to FOB, FSB, kung may nga trade, according to the standards of the American Pediatric Association, alam nyo na, hindi nyo uulitin ang 139 pages ng UNESCO. Ibig sabihin po, the moment you say, according to international CSE standards or according to CSE standards, ang sinasabi nyo ay ito. Ito po, 139 pages. Hindi naman ho pwedeng inuulit yung laman nito. Pero understood na ang lawmaker na gumamit ng term na yan ay walang ibig sabihin kundi ito. At kung ang module maker or developer ay gagawa ng module according to CSE standards, dalawa po yung pwede niyang tingnan. Yung UNESCO at yung WHO. So I hope nagkaintindihan na po tayo, wala nang tanong doon. Pag ang batas hindi nagsabi ng ukol sa isang word, pero naggawa ng reference, normal po yun. Pati kayo sa theology department, ibig sabihin, pinasok nyo na yung teachings ng prophets. At lalong-lalo na, pag halimbawa kakasuhan nyo ang isang module maker, bakit ka naglagay ng bastos na term na yan? Bakit bastos? Ang sabi nga sa UNESCO, healthy ang masturbation. Paano niya kakasuhan yung teacher na magtuturo ng masturbation kung nasa UNESCO standards yun? Naintindihan niyo po? Well, I hope tapos na itong issue na ito. Kasi, duty ng lawmaker to be transparent. Gagamit siya ng standard, di dapat siya ang maglagay ng guardrails. Kung ayaw niyang ma-misinterpret, huwag niyang gamitin. Kung ayaw niyang mag-misinterpret, tanggalin niya yung hindi dapat referan. Kasi hanggat sinasabi niya yon, may justification ang kahit anong teacher na gamitin kung anong nandun. Kasi common sense. Basic rules of statutory interpretation, basic rules of contract interpretation, pag may reference kayo, pasok. So, yun ho. Okay. Ano po ba ang mga sensitive matters na kasama sa CSE na ito? Sexual pleasure, sexual rights, masturbation, contraception, penetrative sexual intercourse, and non-penetrative sexual intercourse. Ibig sabihin po yun, mutual masturbation, gender identity, sexual behavior, oral and anal sex, consent to sex. Andun po yan. Basahin niyo po. Kaya ang Singapore, sobrang tutol dito sa CSE, kahit pinopropose ng UNESCO at ng UN agencies, tanggapin nyo ang CSE. Sobrang galit yung mga taga-Singapore so that very clear sa Singapore Ministry of Education, hindi kami makikinig sa CSE. We will reject it. In fact, we will have a sexuality education curriculum that is holistic and secular, and it will be taught through science lessons, character and citizenship education lessons. And it will be taught at different levels according to what they think is the preparation, is the preparatory requirement, which is basically, ang focus nila is character. In other words, sa kanila, mangarap muna kayo. Isipin nyo ang future nyo. Hindi nila ini-introduce itong sex at a very early age. Pag-uusapan yan in relation to the future. Kaya, very clear, hindi sila nahihiya. Hindi sila tatanggap ng mga extremist views on sexuality. Ito sa website nila, it is taught in the context of mainstream national values according to students' development needs. Our sexuality education curriculum is anchored on Singapore's prevailing family values and social norms, which, not the extreme ideology, no? Which the majority of Singaporeans want to uphold. Ibig sabihin, hinahanap ang social consensus para wag magkagulo ang Singaporean society. Kaya ang tanong, itong pag-introduce ba ng CSE will have the same social stabilization effect or not? Marriage, they're very clear about this, is defined as being a union between a man and a woman. And then yung empathy part, we teach about homosexuality. We talk about it, but the importance is mutual respect, understanding, and empathy. But homosexuality is not being promoted. In fact, in other pages of this same website, it says, abstinence is the golden standard. And heterosexual relations are to be proposed as the goal. And casual sex is destructive, is harmful. Lagi inulit yan, casual sex is harmful. It is sex that must be carried or done in a permanent relationship. And ang ganda-ganda po, may opt-out clause. Conservative na nga ito, ang parents pa can opt out. Completely contrary to what Section 6 wants, bawal mag-dissent. So, tingnan nyo ho. Tingnan nyo, ang ganda ng goals nila, no? Students should make wise, informed, and responsible decisions, develop a moral compass, and premised on the family as the basic unit of society. Ang ganda, no? Talagang bubuuin ang future ng bata. Abstinence before marriage is the best protection against STI and early unintended pregnancies. Casual sex can harm and hurt you and your loved ones. That's Singapore, a sophisticated, well-educated society. Parang pareho ng norms ng Pilipino di ba? Di pwede pala nalang i-resist ang CSE. Bakit tayo eager na i-push ang CSE? Tingnan nyo po, ito yung objections ng Singaporeans against CSE. Very clear po, this is a very intelligent group of Singaporeans fighting against international agencies' attempt to push Singapore to adopt the CSE. 5 to 8-year-old children be inappropriately exposed to sexual behavior, teaching it as an expression of love. 5 to 8-year-old children must define family to include same-sex unions and other kinds of choices. 9 to 12 must describe how to feel sexual pleasure. 9 to 12 must learn sexual stimulation. 9 to 12 must affirm transgender ideology. 9 to 12 must believe in the right to marry anyone. 9 to 12 to 15 must learn non-penetrative sexual behavior. Ano po yun? Hindi magpapasok kasi ayaw gumamit ng condom, kaya mutual masturbation. 12 to 15 are placed at risk to unnecessarily sexualize close friendship. Magkaka-best friend kayo, sasabihin ng UNESCO standards na normal na ipakita nyo ang friendship nyo through sexual activity. And I'll show you later. 15 to 18 years old teenagers must become LGBT and abortion activists. 15-year-old to 18-year-old teenagers must misunderstand homophobia and transphobia, meaning kahit anong sasabihin mo that it's not the preferred norm, homophobia at transphobia na yun. That's Singapore. Yung ibang countries, mas malala pa ang mga objections. Okay. Nakita na po natin ang reaction ng Singapore sa pressure sa kanila to promote and adopt CSE. Now, here in the Philippines, marami pong magaganda. Hindi lang po sa komunidad na alam natin, merong napakaganda na DepEd validated good success story in Mandaue, Cebu. Merong isang Christian organization, ang tawag, The Lord Who Cares Foundation, umiiyak ang puso nila para sa mga broken, sa pinaka-vulnerable na areas ng Mandaue, yung mga lakas ng prostitution, ng gang violence. Alam nyo po, when they carried out this program, I hope you can bring them here, ATS, please. You can really see stories of redemption. And carried it out in partnership with the DepEd, nagkaroon ng transformation. Mga dating prostitutes na mga bata, yung mga na-sodomize na, yung mga victims ng gang wars and violence, yung mga talagang broken na families, nakapagtapos, nakabalik sa school, 0 teen pregnancy. 0 teen pregnancy at bumagsak lahat ng data nila tungkol sa violence na usually associated with poverty and crime-ridden communities. Alam nyo po, ang ginawa nila, values education. At alam nyo, ang core ng values education nila, pagmamahal ni Jesus. Ang pagmamahal ni Jesus has a very powerful, transformative message that the young girls who had already been sexualized, nagkaroon ng concept ng second chance virginity. At ngayon, ang successful na ng iba sa kanila, may career na sila, nakatawid sila from utter despair to hope at nagpapatakbo na ng kanilang sariling mga pamilya. We, the ATS community, must look for those stories of redemption because it validates the basic mission of ATS to show that the redemption plan of Christ is real in today's world. Hindi ko tayo dapat maging swept away by the passing fashions of the latest ideology. But let us stick to the ancient path where the brokenness of the woman at the well proved, really, that the life-giving water of Jesus is more than enough to address any pain and hurt. And ito, ang ganda-ganda kasi validated ng DepEd. Ang kwento sa amin, i-roll out na nga sana, i-expand ng program, kaya lang, pumalit ang administration ng DepEd, bumaling sa K-12 program, kaya naputol, and we are hoping, nasabi na po namin kay Secretary Angara, sana buhayin yung mga ganito. Alam niyo kung bakit? Because while they were being given life-giving bread through the Word of God, yung mga teachers nahihil. Yung pala yung mga teachers broken themselves, turo ng turo, pero sila medyo may sariling sexual brokenness at may sariling pain. And when they saw that the young lives could be changed, they were being changed themselves. So nagka-healing sa buong community. Yung bata, yung teachers, kaya ang ganda-ganda ng storya. Ang ganda po talaga at proven sa pinaka-broken, the words of God, accompanied by lives na minamahal talaga itong ating mga pinaka-vulnerable na young people. Nagbabago po ang komunidad. So, alam nyo ho, sasabihin mo lang mga generalities yan. Ito po ang reality on the ground. Ito po ang CSE curriculum, concepts, or concepts or ideas na rino-roll out na po sa DepEd. DepEd po, national roll. I will read to you, ha? Eksakto po yung mga phrases. Sexual and reproductive parts are vital parts of the body. The body parts can be described using the different sense organs. Different people have different bodies and capacities, including of the sexual body parts. Nung tinanong po ni Secretary, ni Congressman Roman Romulo, anong ibig sabihin niya? Sabi ng DepEd, hindi ho namin naalala na meron kami niyan. May proof tayo. No, yung dokumento mismo. How can you ask grade 1 and grade 3 people, your children, in a classroom with little boys and little girls, to describe their sexual parts using touch, smell, taste, see, and hear? Kapkapin, amuyin, tikman, tingnan, pakinggan. Can you explain that po? Kung hindi tunog Pilipino, ibig sabihin, kinuha ito sa banyagang ideology. Di po ba? Parang alien language. Kaya nung may mga kaibigan ako na sinasabi ko may nangyayaring masama, ayaw nilang maniwala kasi hindi nila kayang imagine that there would be such things. But these are in the rollout program of the DepEd. Tingnan niyo po ang isa pong set ng mga messages. Grade 10, Araling Panlipunan. Content, ibig sabihin po, mga 14 to 16 po ito. Mga issue na may kaugnayan sa kasarian, gender and sexuality, reproductive health law, same-sex marriage, prostitution and violence. Bakit po ganito ang mga tinuturo sa ating mga eskwelahan? Ang mga mag-aaral ay may pag-unawa sa kahalagahan ng pagtanggap at paggalang sa iba't ibang perspektibo na may kaugnayan sa samut-saring gender. They are already being indoctrinated to the gender ideology. Without our knowledge, yan ang mangyayari. Ang mga mag-aaral ay nakabubuo ng dokumentaryo. They can document research, video, graphics, na nagsusulong that promotes ng paggalang sa karapatan ng mga mamamayan sa pagpili ng kasarian at sexualidad. They can produce promotive materials to advance the acceptance by society of one's right to choose one's sexuality and gender. Grade 10 po. Nasusuri ang iba't ibang salik na nagiging dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng diskriminasyon sa kasarian. Natataya ang bahaging kinagampanan ng gender sa iba't ibang larangan at institusyong panlipunan. Trabaho, edukasyon, pamilya, pamahalaan at religion. Ibig sabihin po, yung mga anak nyo, magkukwento sa school kung anong sinabi ng nanay at tatay ukol sa gender at kung bakit ang nanay at tatay ay nagdi-discriminate. Our children are being turned against us. To be rebellious. Mommy, bakit hindi mo tinatanggap at lahat ng kahit anong kasarian? That's what's being promoted. And they will be angry at their parents who do not accept the entire variety of gender choices. Okay. Sa grade 10, Araling Panlipunan, learning competencies. Okay, tingnan niyo po yung sa grade 10, balikan ko lang, performance standard. Ibig sabihin, i-grade ang mga bata ayon sa kakayanan nilang mag-promote ng gender diversity. Graded po yan. So paano ang batang hindi naniniwala o yung mga batang tinuruan ng magulang na hindi ganon ang katotohanan? Grade 10, natatalakay ang mga uri ng kasarian at sex at naipapaliwanag ang iba't ibang salik na nagiging dahilan. Same yun, no? Pare-pareho rin yun. Demonstrate sensitivity to and acceptance of the sexual aspects of personal identity. Tingnan niyo po, no? 10, 12, 14, yan na po. Grade 8, ilang taon yan? 10, 9, 10 years old. Teenage concerns. Ano ba ang dapat pag-usapan sa eskwelahan? Identity crisis, sexual identity and sexual behaviors. Yung mga anak natin, kung walang identity crisis, guguluhin. Ay, Huwag kang mag-decide na babae ka, hindi ka babae until you make a decision na babae ka talaga. Nangyayari po yan sa Canada. Yung isang kaibigan ko sinabi, Ma'am, Lola, I just came from school and my teacher said I'm not a girl. I was saying I am a girl. No, you're not. You're not a girl until you say you are a girl. You decide that you are a girl. That's how it is being rolled out. Premarital sex, teenage pregnancies, abortion, 10 years old, 12 years old. Explain the health benefits and risk and effectiveness rates. So may grading sila of various methods of contraception, including abstinence and condoms. I will have to tell you, ang UNESCO, bagsak sa kanyang abstinence. Ineffective daw. And before they graduate, gloriously, they will have to explain, grade 11 and 12, that there are many ways of expressing love and that sexual activity is a mature way of showing care and affection. Identify ways for friends to express feelings for each other. And you have care and affection for your best friends, for your barkada. What is this telling you? You go ahead and have sexual intercourse. And they have to explain that with their own words. Hindi lang yung input papasok. Ang requirement, kayang i-internalize at ipaliwanag ng grade 11 at 12. Nag-iimbento po ba tayo na ganito kasi ang direksyon ng UNESCO standards? Hindi po. Kasi sabi nga, si Senator Win nga, linabas niya ito daw ang framework ng DepEd, eksakto sa framework ng UNESCO. Sabi niya, kinopia nyo lang eh. Ang ginawa ko po ay, itong mga slides na ito ay kinumpare ko sa materials ng UNESCO. Ito po ang sabi sa UNESCO. Kaya magtataka kayo, bakit? Touch, smell, taste, hear, see. Bakit nandun yun sa sexual parts? Ito po kasi ang ideas ng UNESCO. 5 to 8 years old. People can show love for other people through touching and intimacy. 5 to 8 years old yan, mga bata. Anong ituturo? The children will be able to state, sasabihin nila, people show love and care for other people in different ways, including, we can kiss, we can hug, we can touch, and sometimes we can do sex. 5 to 8 words, and sometimes through sexual behavior. 5 to 8. O pag-graduate na sa 9 years old, ano ang tinuturo ng UNESCO? 9 to 12. Key idea, people have a sexual response cycle whereby sexual stimulation, by the time po kasi nakapkap na nilang katawan nila, di ba? Sexual stimulation can produce a physical response. At anong sinasabi? 9 to 12 years old will be able to, I hope you can see it, sana kaya natin, no? Acknowledge that masturbation, in class ito ha, kasi kailangan nilang ilabas, i-acknowledge nila, does not cause physical or emotional harm, but should be done in private. 9 years old. I know you're stunned. I was when I first read these materials. And who, because in Europe, many children are already entrusted to their care as soon as the parents give birth or after a year. Ito ang itunuturo nila sa daycare, sa 0 to 4. Kaya kailangan talagang yung mga magulang na Pilipino malaman kasi in fact, some of our European friends and followers are already telling us that this is happening and that they almost got imprisoned because they were objecting to CSE. Tingnan nyo, punta kayo sa sexuality portion. Anong ituturo sa 0 to 4 years old? Enjoyment and pleasure when touching one's own body. Early childhood masturbation. Wala na ho tayong oras para ipakita ko pa yung mga comparison. Pero you can have it. We will give the slides and you can check. na ang DepEd, trinatrack nila ngayon, both the UNESCO and to a certain extent, mas advanced lang kasi sa Europe, yung WHO guidance. Ayan po, I will just go and move through the slides. Ayan po, may proof tayo. Hindi tayo nag-iimbento. Kaya, ang clear naman sa DepEd eh. What is CSE or Comprehensive Sexuality Education? First, it's a rights-based. Ibig sabihin, karapatan ng mga bata i-demand itong klaseng impormasyon at edukasyon. Rights-based. Gender-focused approach to sexuality education. So that's the third row that I showed you earlier. Yung sa gitna naman po okay lang sa atin yung scientific information. Pero ang CSE hindi daw pwedeng hindi pag-usapan ang family life, pati yung gender discrimination sa pamilya, culture, relationships, gender role, and also addresses human rights. Kasi dito po sa CSE, human right ng mga bata ang sexual rights. Biruin mo, sasabihin nila na human right ng mga bata ang mag-sex. Gender equality and threats such as discrimination and sexual abuse. Okay, nalilihis ba ng landas ang DepEd at ang mga eskwelahan natin? Opo. Tingnan nyo, when CSE was rolled out in various schools, tiningnan namin yung mga posts, ito po, isang school ito. Grade 10 students, they were celebrating CSE and they were asked to all wear pride t-shirts. So gender ideology is being indoctrinated to our schools. Another one po, nagse-celebrate sila ng CSE. Anong ginawa po? Nag-distribute ng condoms sa high school. So, in the minds of all those implementing CSE, it is about condom distribution and celebration of the rainbow flag of pride. Hindi naman po sinabi sa atin na ganyan, ano? Pero yan, ang realidad ng CSE. Ang CSE po ay na-incorporate noong 2018. Tapos, dun po, ang ginamit na basic reference sa DepEd ay UNESCO International Technical Guidance. So, ano po ang titingnan ng module makers nila? Siyempre, ito po. Kaya ganun ang slides na nakita natin. Kasi ito ang tiningnan nila. Kasi ito ang sinabi ng DepEd na tingnan nyo. Tumingin ba sila sa Filipino values? Mukhang ito Siguro meron. Pero sinama nila yung mga unacceptable concepts ng CSE. Saan po nanggaling ang pera para sa rollout na ito? Yung sinimula ng 2018, sinabi po, galing sa GAD Fund, sa SEF, sa MOOE, nandun po yan, sa DepEd Order 31, and other sources of fund. So pinasok. At that time, delikado na tayo, kulelat na tayo sa PISA Inuna pa ito. Bakit po? Ito po, malinaw po hindi ho siguro theory ito, malinaw, as malinaw. MOA and MOU may also be forged with partner agencies such as UNFPA, UNICEF, DOH, POPCOM, NGOs, and NGAs. Ibig sabihin po, may foreign intervention ito. May international pressure. At noon nga kung sinasabi nating September 2022 rollout, ito po ang nilahad nila. Noong 2005 hanggang 2010 daw, nagkaroon ng agreement between UNFPA at DepEd na gumawa ng mga materials tungkol sa adolescent reproductive health. Hindi naman masama ito kasi in 2012, in-affirm ng Supreme Court, kasama na ako noon, hindi pa ako Chief Justice, a few months before I became CJ, ang Reproductive Health Act. Ang Reproductive Health Act actually combines all existing laws on contraceptives, linagyan lang talaga ng ngipin. So, in 2009, nagka-produce sila ng video, The Power of You. Then, in 2012, linagyan ng component ng sexual abuse. And ito siguro magandang maikwento ni Dr. Claudio kasi right now, she is the chair of Likhaan. Maybe she was not chair at the time, but in 2015, first time na ipasok ang concept ng CSE. In 2015, two NGOs were asked to develop the concepts and standards for CSES. Likhaan and Philippine Legislative Council for Population and Development. Ano po ba ang PLCPD? Si ma'am siguro ang magde-describe sa Likhaan, hindi po ako maalam dyan. Pero ang PLCPD, by their own words, sila po ay nagde-develop ng isang agenda para i-address ang population program natin. Parang ang ganda po, kasi poverty, overpopulation is poverty, etc. Parang may justification. Ang problema po, ito po ang challenge ko sa legislators. Ang PLCPD ay may kargang agenda. So, kakargahin nilang agenda, kinukuha nila ito sa mga NGO, and then, ihahain sa Kongreso, nagkakabulagaan sa taong bayan. At nakakalungkot kasi ang tingin ko may conflict of interest problem na ito eh. Halimbawa po, ang chairperson ngayon ng PLCPD ay si Senator Risa Hontiveros. So kailangan po rin tanungin siya, paano po ba i-avoid niya? Paano niya ma-ensure na independent siya? Kasi kung titingnan nyo sa PLCPD site, ito po ang agenda nila na mapasa ng Kongreso. Magna Carta of Children. Yan po ay ino-objecta namin kasi yan po ay magsusulong at magpapave the way ng transgender transition ng mga bata. Ilalabas po namin ang position paper natin soon. Adolescent Pregnancy Provision, yan ho ang napakagandang title. Sino naman po ba ang mag-o-object sa preventing adolescent pregnancy? Wala. Sino mag-object dun sa expanding the social protection for adolescent parents? Wala. Pero pag binasa nyo ang nitty-gritty, masyashock kayo. It's about gender. It's about sexual rights. At yun sinabi ko nga sa Section 6, walang karapatan ang Grace na mag-object. Kailangan niyang ituro itong different spectrum of gender sa kanyang mga bata. Reproductive health law, dadagdagan ng oversight, and SOGI bill. So naintindihan niyo na po, ito ang agenda ng PLCPD na binibilangan ng Board of Trustees ng mga legislators natin. Kaya tayong taong bayan, tanungin natin, ano ba talaga ang relasyon nyo? Pwede bang transparent kayo at accountable? Kasi nagguguluhan kami. Muntik nang mapasayang si SE, naggagulatan na lang. Biruin nyo, you drove us to the point of desperation when we were already, it was at the 11th hour. The CSE would have passed and hindi mo man lang alam, Dr. Tan, napapasa na yun. Di ba? Kayo, yung mga may-ari ng school sa inyo, you did not know. Papasa na yun, na wala kayong kapalag-palag. Okay. Itong mga slides ko lang, ipakita ko lang that the UN and PSA itself says that teen pregnancy is decreasing. When DepEd Order 1831, series of 2018 was signed, and when Senator Win Gatchalian passed Resolution 13 in 2022, ang premise nila ay nag-e-increase ang teen pregnancy. Hindi ko na ho ito binilabor during the Senate hearing kasi masyadong maliit na point considering the other topics being discussed. But this tells you that the premise na madali tayo sa CSE kasi dumadami na ang teen pregnancy. The UN says this. Yung mga teenage pregnancy ay bumababa consistently. UN data po yan. At nung tiningnan nila, nakita nila, so UN and PSA, please talk. Mag-usap nga kayo. Kasi sabi ng UN, bumababa pati yung mga 10 to 14 years old na pregnancy. Ibig sabihin, walang emergency. Walang emergency na tayo magmamadali at i-blindside ang mga magulang. There's none. Tingnan niyo po, ito UN data ha. So bahala na ang UN at PSA. Bakit nagsasabi ang PSA, ay dumadagdag by 100, assuming po na may 3,000 na 10 to 14. Is it enough para i-overhaul natin ang buong batas natin at magkagulo ang bayan? That means, hindi kaya artificially created yung need na kailangan palitan ang batas natin? Or are there already laws that sufficiently address our concerns? Tingnan niyo po, PSA ito. Since 2013, bumababa dramatically ang teen pregnancy. Per average, 6% per annum. 5%, 6% per annum. Ang baba, no? Ang bilis. And then, yan rin po yung young adult fertility studies. Sabi nila, dramatic decline in teen childbearing. Di po ba? Ganon din po yung Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department ng House of Representatives. Bumababa ang teen pregnancy sa bansa. So, hindi ko alam paano nila disaggregate para sabihin, sige, bumababa ang teen pregnancy, pero ang emergency is yung mga 10 to 14. 10 to 14 means statutory rape. Meaning, mas likely, ang power dynamics ng dalawang partido ay mataas. Which means it is a criminal justice system. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, rinirape ka ng lolo. Lolo, sabi sa CSE, dapat magbigay ako ng consent. It is the condition of violence which dapat ina-address. We have a different set of laws for that. We have a different set of agencies na dapat gawing number 1 priority ito. Pero hindi yung ituturo mo itong mga bagay na ito sa mga households na ang mga nanay at tatay ay sobrang nagbabantay, igigisingin mo ang mga bata. Di ba sabi sa Song of Solomon, do not arouse that which should not be aroused. May kapanahunan. Okay. Ito po ang talagang emergency. Kasi tingnan nyo naman ang PISA score natin. Bagsak tayo, di po ba? Ito po ang common complaint ng mga teachers at mga school administrators sa ibang-ibang bansa kung saan ang CSE ay rin-roll out. Ang daming problema ng educational sector. Bakit ito inuuna? Yung sexualization. Di po ba? O kayo, nag-raise kayo ng mga math wizards, pero yung mga riniraise nyo, hindi nadidistribute doon sa ibang public schools. Hindi ba yung dapat unahin? Bakit yung ibang schools, ang gagandang performance, yung iba hindi? Kakaunti ang budget natin. Bakit itong CSE sa lahat ang pinagdudukdukan sa atin? At hindi lang po yun. May pruweba tayo. Nabagsak ang CSE. Ito po ay study ng isang prestigious Research Institute, International Research Institute for Research and Evaluation. They're known for conducting for more than 30 years sex and sexuality education programs in the different states of the United States as well as in different countries. Ito po, tingnan nyo ang chart nila. Pag combined non-US and US, kasi po ang sinasabi ng CSE, babagsak daw ang teenage pregnancy at babagsak daw ang STIs, yung sexual transmitted infections, no? Combined non-US and US, 79 programs, 103 studies, kasi mahilig sila sa longitudinal approach, ibig sabihin multi-year. Ang tinitingnan nila, effective nga ba doon sa sinasabing goals? Bagsak po. Failure rate, 87%. Non-US, 39 programs, 43 studies, 89% failure. Africa, 89% failure. US, 85%. Okay. Yung abstinence-only education, 53% lang ang failure rate. Ibig sabihin, may 47% chance na baka nagwo-work yung abstinence-only program. Yun po ang conformity sa ating understanding of sex, ano? Until the right time comes, wala mo ng sex, ay sabi ng institute na ito, mas dramatic ang difference between the failure rate of CSE and abstinence-only programs. Tingnan niyo po, ano? Ang recommendation nila. Given the threat posed by STDs, etc., and pregnancy to the health and well-being of young people worldwide, the compelling lack of evidence of effectiveness for school-based comprehensive sex education, and the concerning rate of harmful impact, we recommend that policymakers abandon plans for the global dissemination of CSE and pursue alternative prevention studies for reducing the negative consequences of adolescent sexual activity. I-abandon daw completely ang CSE. Taas ng failure rate. Further studies of the positive findings for abstinence education should be done. Ibig sabihin, parang may hope. Kasi at least 53% lang ang failure rate. Posibleng mas maganda pa nga kung tingnan natin, baka naman nagwo-work yung abstinence programs sa eskwelahan. Foundational yan sa Christian schools. We are promoting that as the gold standard. Yung sinasabi niya, pag-aralan nga natin, mukhang may hope dito. Siguro kayo po, yung mga Christian educators, pag kumuha lang kayong data, you will find out na ang taas ng success rate nyo sa pag-prevent nito. Ini-encourage tayo. Okay. Kahapon ho, ay 2 days ago, sinabi sa akin ni Senator Risa, doon sa Senate hearing, yung study mo naman hindi maganda. Criticize na yan ng isang article na nag-appear sa National Institute of Health Library. Tiningnan ko po yung sinasabi niya nag-criticize. Ito po ang nag-criticize. Ang affiliation po ng nag-criticize, ito po ipapakita natin, no? Ay mukhang sila mismo ang nagbigay ng input sa CSE program. Ibig sabihin, criticize nila yung nag-criticize ng program nila. Kita nyo po? Okay. Malapit na ho. Ito po, yung mga nagsulat po ay kasama ang staff member ng WHO. At kung tingnan nyo po kung saang department sila nagsaserve, consultant po, itong mga scholars na ito, consultant ng WHO on sexual and sexuality education. So, ibig sabihin, self-serving po. Kailangang i-defend nila yung ginawa nila. Kaya pinagtitira nila yung study ng Institute of Research and Evaluation. Okay. Ito po ang sinabi ng Safe Schools Alliance ng UK, isang secular group na kasamang LGBT community. Okay. Ang sinabi nila, itong WHO at ang UNESCO, complementary documents yan. And ang tiningnan nila, ano bang effect ng documents na ito, malapit na ako, sa nangyayari sa mga bata. They are saying that these two documents present a very clear and present danger to children across the world that requires extremely urgent intervention. And then, sinasabi pa nila, these questionable approaches are informing policymakers at all levels, national, regional, local, all the way up to what is being taught in classrooms. And itong sinabi, dahil daw sa documents na ito, yung mga safeguarding protocols that used to guide childhood education nag-disappear. Kasi halo-halo lahat ng concepts nandun, pwede. The entire gamut of the sexual experience is there. So sabi niya, nalilito ang mga tao, ano bang harmful at hindi? At ang conclusion nila, ang dami-daming harmful content na konti lang masasabi mo talaga na pwede mong masasabing. Yun ang pag-usapan natin kasi yung exposure to these documents at yung freedom that it has given to curriculum developers and teachers ay masyadong malala that it has harmed children. Ibinigay sa mga bata ang burden of saying no instead of yung safeguarding approach ng parents na sila ang magsasabing, anak, hindi ka pwedeng mag-sex. Nasira daw yun. And it's a secular organization. Okay, ito po. Yung sa Thailand na lang, and then after, 2 more points, bilisan ko. Thailand, binagsak ng UNICEF ang Thailand kasi hindi daw tinuturuan ng Thai teachers ang more important emphasis na dapat ibigay, sa binakbaba na ako, about equality, sexual rights and gender, to cultivate attitudes that help to solve sexual problems at their roots. Kasi sabi niya, ang principles ng CSE, ang core, is that it must be a rights-based and gender-focused approach to sexuality educations, which goes beyond prevention of pregnancy and STI. Nagrereklamo siya, bakit daw yung Thai masyadong focused sa STI at sa teen pregnancy, masyadong specific ang problem ng gustong isolve. Samantalang, ang gusto ng CSE is to solve the sexual problem. Parang Freud po, no? Tunog Freud. So, ang sabi ni Senator Win, RA 10354, RH law is already enough to address lahat ng sinasabi ng mga CSE advocates na ituro what is enough to avoid teen pregnancy, to avoid STI, to avoid sexual violence, defensive, lahat nasa RH law na yan. Kaya we don't need a new law. Ang nangyari lang, nagkagulo-gulo to the point na may mga kwento sa amin na yung isang bata, sinabi na yung teacher, tinuruan sila paano maglagay ng condom sa TV remote control. Sa isang klase naman, sa pag-visualize ng sexual parts, nagdala ng hotdog at sotanghon to describe the male part and the pubic hair. Pagkatapos ng klase, nagkainan at nagtawanan. See the confusion? One time, may isang nagsabi, Mommy, what are wet dreams? Anak, bakit? Because we're discussing it in class. You don't know that that's happening. I was shocked myself. Okay, so kung sinabi na nga talaga ng RH law na ituro lahat ito for the protection of children, kaya nothing to prevent DepEd from teaching this to adolescents. Ito ang kailangan pong tutukan as prophetic, our prophetic role as a church, part of the sovereign Filipino people, ito dapat ang ide-demand natin sa government. Both DepEd, all agencies, as well as Congress. Any law on this should be constitutionally compliant in every respect, respectful of all culture and religions, rejecting gender ideology, and not indoctrinating children and molding them to be activists for gender ideology. Schools must clearly say there are only two sexes. Respectful of the sanctity of family life and not encourage children to spy and report on their parents. Life-affirming and not implying that abortion is a good option for pregnant women. It does not look down on abstinence and character strengthening. It must make children comfortable with their own bodies. They must not be led to think that there is an identity crisis and that they have the right to choose their gender. Must always give parents the option to opt out, except for the mandatory biology classes. Must involve parents in the curriculum and module content and not undermine parental authority. Must fall within the ambit of the RH law, the Youth in Nation Building Act, the GMRC law, and according to the implementation design of the Parenting Effectiveness Service Program. Must observe the constitutional guarantee of religion allowable to be taught at the request of the parents. It must dissociate itself completely from the brand Comprehensive Sexuality Education or CSE, from every angle. And avoid the adjective comprehensive because it cannot be comprehensive because there is sanctity of family life, which is the private domain of parents and children. Must contain safeguards in the implementation to ensure that children are not taught that they have sexual rights, including to touch and pleasure themselves, to decide when, with whom, and how to have sex, and that sexual activity outside of marriage is a mature way of showing love. We are requesting respect for faith. Singapore did that. Why not the Philippines, which has this social data? 99% of teenagers say that they belong to the Christian faith or to the Muslim faith. Less than 1% are saying that they are atheists or have another religion. Second, 73% of adult Filipinos say religion is very important. Why does SB 1979 original version completely disregard religion? And then third, look, ATS, sign of hope. Majority of young Filipinos are hopeful in Jesus. That means your ministry, your advocacy, your mission is not in vain. 44% as against the global data of 23%, 44% say Jesus makes a real difference in the world today. Claim that and act on that. That is your right to act on the gift God is giving this community. 53% say, I can have a personal relationship with Jesus. A 30% improvement over the 23% global data on the youth. You start with that. Give them hope. Do not make their minds focused on sexuality and do not allow them to be confused about their gender. 11%, however, say they don't know enough about Jesus. Please teach us more about what Jesus stood against. So please, church, time to wake up. Time to wake up. Our youth want to know more about Jesus. And finally, even though they don't know enough about Jesus, only 3% of Filipinos say he is out of touch because 97% of Filipino youth believe that Jesus is not detached from today's real issues. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Are we learning a lot tonight? Wow. Praise God. Thank you, CJ Sereno, for sharing your invaluable insights. Now, I believe since you said we learned a lot tonight, we need to digest it, right? So, we will give you a 5-minute break. Okay, take this time to take some refreshments, go to the washroom, and come back here after 5 minutes. Strictly 5 minutes. Thank you so much, Paul. God bless.